Yeah, watched some film, talked about it a little bit, but it's just one game this season, you know. It was an ugly one, but it's part of it, part of being a professional. You got to bounce back and move on to the next one.
What has the focus of training been for you guys? I guess, is it more focusing on that defensive effort?
Yeah, most definitely. Just being more together as a unit, knowing the scout better, knowing players and personnel, just playing better together.
And heading to Sydney, have you had a chance to have a look at the Kings, obviously reigning premiers?
Yeah, definitely. They're 3-0 and they're looking good, but we should give them a run for their money out here in Sydney. Watch some film on them this week, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Sorry.
Forde's former teammate, has he told you a little bit about the Kings? Has he worked in any areas to clean up or clean up this week?
We have some key things we're looking to do against them. He didn't mention anything about it being his club. Maybe he was waiting for a pregame speech or something to motivate us a little bit, but I know a lot of people just have familiar faces there and who we know, so.
I don't ruin anything.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's competition.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, obviously just sort of focusing on us. The quick turnaround with Perth really showed our vulnerabilities and a sense of preparation. Obviously with new guys in the league, they didn't know the full extent of Jesse Wagstaff, for example, who has been in the league 10 plus years and has been doing what he's doing really well, and it showed with the new guys. The short closeouts made us pay. So obviously with a few extra days now to prepare for Sydney, we've been able to focus in on the scout, but also just trying to build that trust back within the group to let them know this is a process and this is a journey. And I have patience in it, and they need to have confidence and patience in themselves and understand that this is going to work.
That defensive effort, I guess, was that the focus of this week?
Yeah, Perth really came in and just rattled our cage, and it left us rather shell-shocked in that second quarter. So there were a lot of characteristics that weren't us from the beginning. So, there's a little bit where we need to focus in on and be better on. But there's also just that reality check to say, hey, they really tested our character. And so it's almost been it's been good in an instance of hitting us with the reset. But really it's what we do now moving forward and how we respond from that game rolling into Sydney.
Sydney, they're the reigning champs. I guess, how do you go about pumping up on your side to face us on one like that? Yeah,
it's another good test. We got Sydney again in Sydney in 2 weeks' time. The main thing is that, with all these tough road games and all these tough teams, we're getting really early in. So it's one of the best initiations into the league, especially for all these new guys, is to say, hey, you're going to face the defending champs now twice at their home venue within 2 weeks of each other, off the back of Perth last week. And again, and in between that, we got Melbourne and Melbourne. So you've got to bring your A game, you've got to be locked in, you've got to be a professional. And if we do find ourselves in a moment now where we're a little bit shell-shocked whether, Sydney get on a run or a bit of a momentum swing in their favour. We can't react the same way which we did against Perth, which was just, drop everything. We got to regroup and get back on track with the game plan.
Lat, will we see him brace the court for the first time?
Yeah, we're easing him into it. So it's really important that we make sure, he's part of the process too. And, he's been out for some time. So it's really important first that we get him integrated into the group and the process of our warm-ups and our game day prep. But yeah, there's still, there's still a process to be done with him. So that whether he gets on the floor or not will probably be determined, in the next 24 hours. But confident that he's ready to go. It's just a matter of making sure that his body and his mind's ready to go.
If you guys make that on the floor, it will be a case of limited minutes?
Yes, yeah. Again, just being out for so long, anything other than a minute's plan sort of just puts him in a high-risk category of re-injury. And so it's really important that we make sure we look after his body first before worrying about what he does for us on the court.
Yeah, sure. I was just going to say, boys are professionals, obviously, but no one likes losing, but how do they bounce back from that for Sydney? Is it a case of just fine-tuning a few things this week?
This is it. There's still, especially with me, learning a lot of these guys' personalities and identities. So there's a little bit of the journey in it for me to see how these guys are going to respond. So, you can interview a guy, you can recruit a guy, and you can talk to him about these type of situations, but then you don't actually know how they're going to respond until they're in it. So we're in it, and it's great that it's happening at this time of the season. You know, we're talking about building the Cairns Taipans team of January, February. So to really test our adversity in October gives us more than enough of a window to see the improvement. And that's the main thing with the guys, is I have confidence in them. They just go have confidence within themselves, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they bounce back and get on the court tomorrow.
Just finally up against former Taipan with Portnoy there, with nothing. Have you had a discussion around how you're going to shut him down?
Obviously we know him pretty intimately. He comes off the bench behind one of the most dynamic power forwards in the league. So a lot of our focus right now is on Cooks, who's he's in MVP contention. So Sydney have a lot of weapons. If you get too locked in on Cooks, for example, Vasiljevic is going to make you pay. Walton Jr.'s come out and shown his immediate impact into the league. So it's really important that we lock into the personnel side of things and not probably focus in on one guy.